I said I'll be right back, but see, I didn't plan on coming back this soon. But when I got down, I checked the video footage tended to cut me off. But you know, sometimes, you know, I'm not even going to go there tonight. I'm not even going to go there. There's the reason why these things happen is karma kicks in. They're just, you know, secrets, things that they want to hide. There's always going to be secrets, things they want to cover up, things they want to hide. It's like, oh, we can't say those things. They write all these rules, but they don't believe in any of the rules that they write. The rules are basically just to cover up things and hide things that they don't want to be known in the public. Alright, so I thought I would just, you know, I thought I would show you a little bit of the night before I head up the hill to head out. So, you know, that's actually the dam here. That's the dam here. Of course, that's my iPad sitting down there. I've learned to use these things. You know, I've had all the other education before I got to this point in time in life. So I've had all those other educations. So this is the new education for me, to add on to all the other educations that I've had over the years, doing the many different jobs. I didn't actually learn by going into college, you know, in high school. I learned things when I was in school, in public school, but you know, it's the basic. I learned the basics. I learned the basics. You know, what they taught us, economics and things like that. You know, I learned, you know, a lot of different things, but you know, science, the way science is, the way science believes, and this and that. You know, the general basics. You know, it's a general conception. It's like the Constitution of the USA. It's the basic guideline. It's a basic guideline of how life is. But they don't tell you about all the other stuff that tends to gerrymander or wanders, you know, from the basic principles of life. You know, it's like if you drop a ball, it's pretty much going to fall to the ground, unless something comes in and keeps it from falling and hitting the ground. You know, something that's going to alter or change the course. So, you know, so since, you know, like, I don't know if you can see down there or not. So, you know, I don't really have anything. So I wanted to do scripting. I wanted to go ahead and create like a short movie, things like that. But, you know, there's people that want to help and this and that. I want to be part of it, so well, I'm not sure what the script should be yet. You know, I've written so many different stories, but, you know, I haven't actually put down a script for a short movie. You notice the current has changed away from the dam. The top current that's on the top of the water, that means there's a breeze blowing, because the current underneath is still going to be going down and over the dam, because I can still hear the water running. So, you know, I'm just going to do a lot of different things from time to time. Basically, when I come out here today, I want to get a lot of video footage, and then I was going to edit that and use that video footage and put it into, you know, into something, so you guys will have something for this week. So you know, when you log into my channel, you'll be able to watch something this week, because I haven't put nothing up in what, 2 or 3 days. I think it's been 2 or 3 days since I've actually put anything up. So I'm like, what do I put up? See, that's where the comment section comes in. It's a place where you get to tell me what you want to see. What do you want me to see me do? It's like I went up to the waterfalls, and you know, it's going to take a whole lot of rain to get that water up high enough to where I could ride a kayak or canoe down that. I know it'll be a little bit dangerous. You know, I'm getting older. I'm getting a lot older. I'm not able to jump as high as I used to be able to, because you know that waterfall is so darn tall. You know, when I was younger, I could just stand at the top of it and jump down to the bottom, so it was a flat place for me to land, and I would be all right. You know, I'd be completely safe. I would not get harmed. I would not break a leg or anything like that unless I hit unevenly or something like that, and I didn't catch myself right. And so, you know, I made jumps like that. I was on the top of a scaffold. We were building a grain bin right here, actually right here in Highland County. So I was building this grain bin right here in Highland County, and I was out there, and I was like, you know, the boss and the rest of the crew had already loaded up. They didn't tell me. They didn't say, Ken, it's time to go to lunch. They left me up on the scaffold, and then when I saw them come around the corner of the grain bin, when they was coming around, I said, where are you guys going? I said, we're going to lunch. It's lunchtime. So I just jumped. I jumped from the scaffold. I was on the scaffold up, you know, I was up on the top row. We were putting the roof on. So the scaffold was all the way up to the roof. and was putting the roof on, and I took a big jump right off the scaffolding, right onto, it was a big flatbed truck, so it had toolboxes on it, so there were toolboxes. I had jumped between the toolboxes on the back of the flatbed to go to lunch. And they all looked, it's like, oh my gosh, and I just jumped and I landed, and I made a perfect landing, so I didn't get hurt, and I was like, let's go, I'm ready, where are we going? So, there's all kinds of stories like that I haven't told you guys, and stuff like that. But, I told those stories so many times. I hate being repetitive. I prefer to keep creating new stories. So, if I took a kayak, I don't know, kayak or canoe. I'm thinking a canoe would probably be safer, because kayak's made out of plastic. Canoe, I think, would offer me a little bit more protection, going over. If the nose hits, even if it flips over, I still think I'll be all right. I still think, I don't think I'll get hurt. So I think it's a fairly safe jump. I don't do any of these things unless, I've done it before, or I think I can do it, or I've done something similar to it before, and I made it, and I did it safely without even any pain or any kind of injury or anything like that. So I don't just randomly go out there and say, I think I'm going to see if I can jump this, with no experience whatsoever. That's what I'm trying to say, is I have experience in those things. So I have experience in those things, and I've done those things before, in different levels, It's like, I grew up on a river when I was a young boy. I grew up on the Little Miami River, so, it's like from the time I was 2 years old till, because I came from the city. I came from the city down Cincinnati, Ohio. But I was, that was when I was a baby. I was a baby. There's even a story about that, too. I got arrested. The first time I got arrested, I was only 1 year old. I was walking down the sidewalk looking for my mom, wearing a poopy diaper and dragging the sidewalk. Police officers came along and picked me up. The next questions they had, which became the jokes of my family for a long time, was, how do you get those doors open? How do you get downstairs? How did he get outside? How did he know where to go? So I was only 1 year old. So, a lot of, then, I had some uncles I used to joke about, well, he wasn't born, he was just hatched, because how else can you explain him walking from the time he was 6 months old? He's already running and walking and running and this and that. He didn't crawl. I don't think he ever crawled. He just was born and started walking and started talking and all this stuff. So, I didn't know. See, I didn't know. So I see the sunset going off in the distance. Let's turn a little bit more that way. And you can see the sunset there going off in the distance. Of course, I'd like to have a better shot of that. So, it'd probably be better if I just go ahead and head out, and I can probably capture the sunset on the tablet when I get over to the other side of the lake. So, all right, let's see what happens, because I don't know how far that other one went. So. You think I can make it up this hill? Should I put my shoes back on? I think I probably should put my shoes back on. What do you think? I don't know. I'm one of those persons. I went from job to job to job growing up. Mostly I worked in agriculture. I worked on the farms and things like that. Hard, heavy-duty labor, and dirty-ass jobs that kids today would not do, or not even think of doing. But I'm not going to say, we should go back to the old way of doing things, when kids used to hurt themselves with a pitchfork. Oh, my back, and stuff like that, Hard labor. Let's just slave them to death. Let's just take them back to the slave days and work their ass off. What do you think? You think that's the way to treat kids? No, I think kids should have it easier today. That's the whole purpose of life, is each generation comes on, is that the next generation has it a little bit easier than the last generation. Because when my dad was growing up, he had it really hard. And you want to know about slave labor, he had slave labor. He worked for a company which eventually became General Motors. He actually worked for this little company in Norwood, Ohio called Fisher Body, which eventually became Chevrolet, and then it became General Motors. There was a slave company. It was basically a slave company back in those days. He had to lift a welder. There's no wheels on it. He had to lift the welder and carry the welder from car to car to car to weld things. So he was a welder when he worked there, and he had to carry it from car to car to car, because they didn't have an assembly line. Assembly line had not been invented yet. In other words, there was not this line that pulled the cars through and you stayed in the same spot. No, the cars came in, they were pushed in, And then you would go from car to car to car to car. But you know, okay. Now get up here. I'm gonna get up. We're losing the sunshine. We've lost the sunshine. I can't even see the sunset hardly going down now. But you know, I've got to walk. I've got to walk. Well, I've got this here. Of course, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. Try imagining. I don't know, you can't really see it, can you? So you can't really see what I, you know, I'm trying to give you an example of what I had to do on the last hike that I did. I had to walk up one place like this. It was 400 feet high. So I walked up one place like this that was 400 feet high. But it was kind of a mud trail, so it was mud and roots and stuff like that. I don't think you can see the vehicle from here. Alright, so I don't know what to say. Alright, so I will be back in another video. That's all I know. If you have anything to say, comment in the comment section.